Welcome back to the third and last presentation pertaining to Chapter 1, Scientific Approach and Research in Education. Educational researchers employ the use of scientific methods of research. Now, the goal of a scientific method of thinking is rooted um, in the broad goal of science, which is to understand natural phenomena through, of course, the scientific method. No? Kung scientific method, yan yung first the problem, next is hypothesis or and then experiment, conducting experiment, doing the analysis, and lastly, you will come up with a conclusion. As you can see, it fits right. It fits also. This scientific method fits also on the context of educational research. There are already numerous conducted research focusing on education, yet they have not attained the scientific status typical of the natural sciences. No? Uh, yan yung scientific methods limitation to educational research. This is due to the difficulty in establishing generalizations or theories with broad explanatory power or precise predictions within the dynamic and multifaceted realm of education. For instance, the first limitation natin, complexity of educational phenomenon. The number one reason that scientific method cannot fully be adapted in the educational research is number one, complexity of educational phenomenon. In education, you deal with human behavior and development, both as individuals and as members of a group. In this case, numerous variables such as numerous variables affect such phenomena independently and in interaction and make them difficult to study with ease. Okay? So your interacting variables, your dynamic concepts, the individual differences play a crucial role which limits the application of scientific method to, on the context of education. The second one is measurement problems. Take note that there is no instrument which can yield us perfect and precise measurement in the field of education. Pagdating nga lang sa attitude towards mathematics, no? For instance, uh, uh, kung titingnan nyo yung variable na yon, there are many tools that are used to measure it, and none of them are best. No? Everything may be correct, may be appropriate, uh, depending on the context that they are used or they are being applied. But still, this provides or this shows that measurement problem is one of the limitations of scientific methods as when it's applied to educational research. There is no best instrument, and again, the problem also points out to the differences such as to age. No, for instance, may madadownload kang na tool or research tool sa internet, pero yung respondents mo high school pero yun para sa college, still it may not be appropriate to be used in the context of your current study. Kaya ano pa, context, yung environment din, and other factors that affect validity and reliability of instruments. Usually nga, ang mga nada-download natin, mga foreign researches, and therefore, may not be applicable to the Philippine context. Okay, so there's always, therefore, always address validity of questionnaires, not just automatically adapt. No? Kaya nga, usually, kapag may mga ganyan na instances, ang sinasabi ko, okay, modify and then let's again check the reliability and validity of the instrument. Okay? Educational research also educational research also encounters further limitations in fully embracing the traditional scientific method, particularly concerning the subjective nature of human observation. The formidable task of controlling extraneous variables and the inherent difficulties in replicating studies within complex and unique educational contexts. For instance, third limitation, difficulties in observation. it's more difficult and risky to have perfect observation and education because it's more subjective and frequently involves personal interpretation such as yung motives, yung values, attitudes, and so on. And therefore, uh, observation in the context of educational research is subject to personal interpretation and may not be which may not be true, which may be true to the observer, but not on the other readers. Okay? And then of course, human complexity. So paano ba natin ito uh, ma-address? We could address this through uh, respondent clarification. So after observation, you transcript, you present them again the data, or you present them again the insight and the data of your observation. Okay? Number 4, difficulties of control. In education, many variables, including extraneous variables, which are not known by the researcher, affect and influence the results. Okay, kahit pasabihin mo pareho ang classroom, ang time of experiment, ang teacher, ang topic, but how about personal differences? Okay? How about multifactorial environments? How about ethical limitations? We cannot really establish control uh, uh, over those aspects. Okay? Therefore, scientific method cannot fully, no, we cannot fully apply scientific method in educational research. Ano pa? Difficulties of replication. There's no such thing as complete replication in educational research. This is also the reason that it's very difficult to replicate an experiment regarding teaching methods in other classroom, which is exactly similar to what transcribed in the first classroom. Um, kung mapapansin nyo, pag nagre-research, nagle-literature review kayo, may mga contradicting results of researches. Kahit pa magkaparehas yung method nila, yung conceptual replication nila was same, but different yung result. Okay? That's because it is done in the context of education. Okay? Unlike for kapag natural science yan, madali ang observation, madali ang control, madali ang replication, but not in educational context because we are dealing uh, with human behavior, no. Other factors may interfere, and as simple as classroom setup and even the weather may have an effect on the variation of the results. The application of traditional scientific methodologies within the dynamic and human-centric field of education presents persistent challenges. Beyond the complexities previously discussed, researchers or educational researchers must contend with issues of experimental interference and practical difficulties of actually achieving truly randomized control, which further complicate the pursuit of objective and generalizable findings. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung limitation 6 natin, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina sa previous examples ko, sa previous presentations ko na Hawthorne or observer effect. The presence of the researcher or investigator can change the behavior or affect the responses of the human subjects in educational research. There is a tendency to fake the behavior uh, uh, among the respondents. Di ba? Nakikita nga natin yan kapag teaching observations eh. Pag regular na classroom setup, ang ingay-ingay ng mga estudyante mo, ayaw nilang mag-participate. Pero pag merong observer sa likod, ako, napaka active nila. No? They are reciting, hindi sila maingay, nagko-cooperate sila. And that's a typical example of experimental contamination, no? Brought about by Hawthorne effect. Okay, another one problem, or the last problem or limitation of scientific method to educational research is the problem of randomization. So randomization may not be perfect in education due to administrative constraints or faking. For instance, no, may absence sa pool of target respondents mo. Okay? So, pero tinuloy mo lang yung selection where you automatically excluded him. So, hindi na yun true randomization. logistical barriers. Hindi ka nakaabot sa oras na kailangan mo mag-experiment. So, hindi na yun random. Okay? Ethical dilemmas. And then, external validity impact. So, those are limitations of scientific methods. These limitations highlight the unique complexities when applying traditional scientific methods to educational research. So, yung 7 na yan, actually limits the educational researchers, okay? On their quest for a more scientific method-based experimentation and data collection. The inherent dynamism of human behavior, the intricate interplay of variables in educational environments, and the practical constraints of real-world settings collectively challenge the direct application of scientific rigor as understood in laboratory sciences. Sa natural science kasi, pwede natin siyang i-simulate sa laboratory. But that cannot happen, or we cannot do that in educational research. No? Ang ginagawa nga natin parang field observation. Kung ano yung actual scenario, dun tayo nagko-collect ng data. And that will pose a great difficulty, a great limitation to educational researchers. Therefore, educational researchers must embrace adapted methodologies and acknowledge these complexities to produce relevant and trustworthy insights. And that's all for this chapter. To end, may I charge you with the following quote, that as future and current educators, you are not just transmitters of knowledge, which we traditionally look at it, but you are also creators of it. Research is your bridge from theory to transformation, and from classroom talk to community impact. Let your curiosity lead you, your expertise guide you, and your passion for learning push you to explore questions that matter. Whether in teacher education, your master's or doctorate journey, remember every study you conduct has the power to change minds, shape policies, and improve lives. So you step into the arena of research not with fear, but with the conviction that what you discover today can inspire a better tomorrow. Welcome to Educational Research.